It's Madden NFL 24 on EA Sports, and the wait is over for this rivalry game. It's the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills, and it comes your way next.
Well, there is a brand new stadium starting to take shape just across the way, but for now, the action is here at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo, New York. Coming up, it's a rematch from last year's AFC wildcard round, as it'll be the Miami Dolphins taking on the Buffalo Bills. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, here in Buffalo, they love their Bills, and for good reason. They're guys, without question, one of the favorites to lift the Lombardi Trophy in Vegas come February.
And you mentioned with good reason, because we know their quarterback is one of the best players in the league, but this is an overall team built to win, especially when we get into the playoffs. Offense, defense, coaching staff, they've been knocking on the door for a while. They want to find their way through and get to the Super Bowl.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Dolphins, we know about the weapons on offense on the perimeter. But do you think this is a team, Charles, that needs to step it up defensively to go to the next level?
I do, and they have the pieces in place. They have excellent players. Perhaps the new system that's been brought in will give them that edge that they need in the AFC East.
And we are underway in Buffalo. And he returns this to the 22. Now Tua Tagovailoa gets set to lead this Dolphins offense for the first time.
Injuries overshadowed a great season from Tua last season. He led a Miami passing game that was one of the best in the league, and even more importantly, took them to the postseason for the first time in 6 years. That jump they were looking for from him, it absolutely occurred.
Now their 31-year-old running back, Raheem Mostert. Right away, they rack up 10 yards on their first play from scrimmage.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now they'll send Waddle in motion left. Now he's going to get it on the jet sweep. And this is not going to work as planned. He's going to be met and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
A great job defensively taking away his receivers, and he was forced to put that one into Lake Erie, but that's what good quarterbacks do. They don't take unnecessary chances if they don't have to.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Tua. And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A gain of 4, not enough. And it looks like punt time on their opening drive as it's 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
So on 4th down, here's Jake Bailey to punt for the Dolphins. Deontay Hardy back deep. This is taken at the 23. They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Now here come the Bills for their first possession, led out by their 27-year-old quarterback in year 6. It's Josh Allen.
And it just feels like Allen has the Bills on the cusp of something great. Another 13-win season last year, and they're officially perennial favorites in the AFC. Behind that effort, continued excellence from one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. Throwing to start the drive. Allen, little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
On play action, Allen. That's swung out wide to Harris.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. Now, during that run, an injury here. We've got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. We'll check on his status when we return to Orchard Park. First down, and they go back to Harris. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
Allen's throw is complete, and he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 25-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Allen off the play fake. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
I do think it's fair to say that they were caught off guard a little bit when he decided not to throw it on first down. But give them credit. They recovered in time to deny him the first down yardage. But it's only 2nd and short. So that run is still likely to lead to a new set of downs.
Meanwhile, Allen's throw taken in by Diggs. And the Bills are going to be set up with a 1st and goal here as the tackle made at the 9. Well, no question, this is exactly how they wanted to start this football game. And nice pass there. Now they're set up beautifully, Charles, to finish this off with a touchdown.
Yeah, but they've still got to finish it off, partner, and that means they've got to execute at this stage of the field. So we've seen many teams march it right to the goal line and not cash in. They got something dialed up here that puts it in the end zone.
Give him 4 on the carry there. It's 2nd and goal.
That's good power football on 1st and goal. A lot of teams will throw from there, but that's a nice job to chew up a few more yards and get yourself closer to the goal line.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. To throw, it's Allen. And that is caught. Touchdown, Buffalo. Deontay Hardy from 4 yards out. And the Bills get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Extra point by Bass, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. So Miami coming out for their second drive. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Tua to try again on 2nd down. And incomplete on the deep ball.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
The threat of a second straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's Tua. And that is incomplete. And the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get untracked in this one.
Jake Bailey on now to punt here on 4th down. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and out will come the offense as they take over. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start out here with the option left. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. 6 yards there on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a 1st down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
To the air, Allen. That's caught by Gabriel Davis. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a 1st down.
It's almost as if they didn't leave the field after their first drive. They picked right up where they left off. Another good throw there. And this offense, humming here in the early going.
So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. And his throw is incomplete.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
Allen again here on 2nd and 10. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Allen. This is caught. It's Hardy. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. And that one results in 35 yards.
What a first quarter he's been putting together. He scored the touchdown earlier, and he's in phase right out of the gate. Right now, he's playing with such confidence, he doesn't believe that they have an answer for him no matter what they do on defense. And here's another big play to prove his point.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Harris running straight ahead. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Damian Harris, a 16-yard touchdown run. And the Bills lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Another impressive drive, so they're 2 for 2, 2 touchdowns. Charles, a great start to this ball game for them.
And one of the words that's really worked its way into our lexicon is stacking. They've stacked momentum each time out, and not only on offense. Between those touchdowns, defense held, forced a punt to get the ball back, and they played awfully well in this one. Both sides playing at optimum level.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. That one caught by Tyreek Hill.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
From the 34-yard line, here's second down and 2. A run with Mostert up the middle. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit, and find our way back into this game.
And he maneuvers up the middle for 3, and it's second down.
Not a lot of running room there, not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
Second and 7. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. This one complete to Jalen Waddle. And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 44-yard line. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Gregory Rousseau works his way in for the stop and the loss.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Tagovailoa to throw on second down here. His throw incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. They'll run the draw with Mostert. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. Here's Jake Bailey now.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here.
It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just now supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
And he'll get a few yards here to the 34.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
So just 3 yards on the completion there, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. Here's Allen to throw it.
Got it complete to Khalil Shakir. And he is going to have the Bills first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
A pretty sizable deficit here in the first quarter. This defense probably need to get off the field in those situations on 3rd down.
And you and I both know in this huddle before that last 3rd down play, that's exactly what they talked about. Let's make a play. Let's get off the field. Let's reverse the momentum. Instead, they got hit with another first down, almost back to the drawing board. I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. They hand this off to Harris. And he'll get this out past the 45 to the 47. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had the incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Throwing is Allen on 3rd. It's hauled in by Hardy. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 27-yard line. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now in Buffalo. It's the Bills in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. Throwing now is Allen. He's got the hook up with Diggs. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
Definitely an important sequence here for this defense. They've had their share of struggles in this first half. They just cannot afford to give up another touchdown here.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Again, it's Harris, and he will again run into a wall as he is stopped at the 4-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
This offense 2 for 2 on third downs on this drive. This the most important of them all, 3rd and goal. Throw left side complete. That's Hardy. Touchdown, Bills! Deontay Hardy with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Bills have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns.
Well, CD, that's his 2nd touchdown already. And how about this offense? 3 drives, 3 touchdowns.
An absolute total team effort right now. And let's face it, I don't think he's done. We're still in the first half. There's a lot of time left to go. I don't know what they're going to do on the other side trying to slow him down. But right now, he's feeling it.
Extra point by Bass, up and good.
And it's now 21-0.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Miami's offense set and ready to go. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. If they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
It'll be a gain of 5. And it'll be 2nd down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Tua's throw caught by his receiver, Hill.
2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Looking to pass. Tua. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage.
On 2nd down, Mostert.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
The Dolphins on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. Here it's 3rd and 2.
They'll try and run here with Mostert. And he'll have a Dolphins 1st down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line.
That was good, tough running right up the middle, and if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. The slot man in motion right.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert.
Oh, a heck of a move. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line.
51 yards on the ground for him so far.
Now that was an excellent run, and when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block, but the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Now a throw here, hauled in. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it's 2nd down.
From the gun, a run with Mostert.
And he'll be close to a 1st down as the tackle made at the Bills' 25. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with 3rd down now looming.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Now Tua on the bootleg here. That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami.
Jalen Waddle.
25 yards for the touchdown.
And the Dolphins are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
Down 3 scores already. This game was really in danger of getting away from them. They needed a drive like that, especially on the road.
Not only to calm themselves, but maybe tamp down the crowd a little bit because everything was against them. As you noted, this game could have gotten away from them very easily, but instead, the calming drive, now they have a little bit more confidence. Okay, we're back in it. All right, we're ready to go. That was impressive.
And the defense now needs to reciprocate. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
On the return, Deontay Hardy.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 25.
Damian Harris and the Bills headed back out.
He's over 40 yards here in the 2nd quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Throwing to start the drive. Allen. It's complete to Diggs. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted.
Picked up by Xavier Howard. Then they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered, they'd had the rule of the roost here in this 1st half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
Miami set to take over.
They coming off a touchdown drive the last time they had the ball. That cut down the lead. Now the defense does their part, got them the football back.
So now maybe with the touchdown they scored previously, plus their defense making that stand up and getting them the ball right back, momentum may be shifting in their favor.
After the turnover, it's Tua. Eluding the pressure right. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
Up the middle they go with Mostert.
And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. From the 20, here's 2nd down and 8. Play action, now it's Tua. Steps away to his left. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
I'm actually looking at this play with defensive eyes here, partner, because they were still laser focused on him after his earlier exploits on this drive. I think they went back to the well just a little bit too soon. He got across the line of scrimmage, but they certainly weren't giving up much more than that.
That's Waddle. He's got the catch on the out route. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. The 3rd down conversion is successful. Give him 12 yards that time.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've had their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. His pass caught at the 4. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
And they ran just a little underneath route here on 1st and goal, but there's really not a whole lot of room to operate this close to the goal line. He's just not able to get loose after the catch.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. Mostert is not going to get a whole lot, maybe a yard down to the 3. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. This is kind of one of those in-between plays here, Charles, on 3rd and goal from the 2 or the 3 in that area. What do you dial up?
Something quick hitting. You don't have the time for something that develops slowly. It's got to be right at them if you're going to run the football. And if you're going to throw it, something quick, get it out of your hands in a hurry.
And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal. Defense didn't budge on 3rd down. Now what are we going to see on 4th?
We are soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what, right?
Yeah.
This is an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. And I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So obviously they will decline the penalty there, and the result is 6 points. Sanders now to add the extra point. It's up and good. This becomes a 21-14 ball game now. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it ends with a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Now Hardy on the return, taking it about the 1. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. And now out come the Bills. They've seen their 21-0 advantage cut to just 7, so time to go back to work here, 1st and 10.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw.
Quick slant to Shakir.
Yeah, this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And Davis will have a Bills first down as he'll get this up to the 39.
And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer. Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
From the 46, here's second down and 3.
Now Allen.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Allen now looks to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hardy.
And he is going to have a Bills first down. It won't be by much. He needed 3, and he got 3, barely. But the mark shows first down.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
Setting up the screen, Harris.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 15 yards that time, and a Buffalo first.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Allen to throw once more. Little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And the ball on the 30, here's 2nd and 4.
Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
Let's go, man.
2nd and 4.
To the air, Allen. Throw left side complete. That's Hardy. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And it'll leave him with 3rd and a full yard to go.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
Again, they'll throw with Allen. Buying time to his left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Well, that's what they have to do more of defensively. Not just getting sacks, but have to keep getting in his face. Not let him get his feet set and deliver. He's been carving them up previously.
Yeah, already has a couple of touchdown passes. About time they put a few grass stains on that jersey. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. So we've reached halftime here in Orchard Park with the Bills taking the lead into the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcoming everyone to our downtown Orlando studios in this EA Sports Halftime Report.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. Bills with the lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway. And from the end zone, Deontay Hardy will bring it out. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Out come the Bills now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively, just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. That time, the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
Allen gonna throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Harris. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They've become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Allen's throw going to be caught by Davis.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
Now on 3rd and 2, they're going to elect to throw with Allen. Throw right side, caught by Davis.
And he is going to have a Bills first down as this defense unable to hold. It's a 7-yard gain there on 3rd and 2.
That was simply snap, rock, and fire. I mean, they didn't take long at all. Slant route, and I loved where he put it. He put on the body of the receiver low so that only he can catch it.
Yeah, I don't think there was any magical formula there. Defensively, that's just tough to defend.
Very much so. And that way it allows the receiver to keep his body in front of the defender and not allow him to go through him to knock the ball away.
Javon Holland coming up to make the stop.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Allen. Caught right side, Davis. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 41-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
On play action, Allen. And Diggs has it. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And two-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now Allen. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That's a big force incompletion there to bring up 3rd and long, and this defense can still salvage a little momentum by forcing them to kick a field goal, because just a few plays ago, they looked like they were headed towards the end zone.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. And again, it's Allen. And that is caught, but he will come down out of bounds, says the side judge, incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And now Sean McDermott is going to throw out the challenge flag. They're taking a peek at whether or not those feet were in bounds, and obviously a big call here in the end zone.
And not just the feet. How about the hands? How is the ball possessed while the feet are hopefully getting down in bounds? That's what they're trying to look at to see if it all comes together.
So the decision to challenge does not pan out, and that's also going to cost him a timeout. So on 4th down, off goes Allen. On comes Tyler Bass for the Buffalo field goal. From the left hash, just a 32-yard attempt. The kick by Bass is good, and the Bills will add on to their lead. Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get. Keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
So after knocking through the field goal, here's Bass to kick it away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Now that's a run that warms a play caller's heart because you're actually set up to do whatever you want on offense. You can come right back and run essentially the same play because you have momentum, or you can fake that running play and throw something deep over the top, or you now feel like you have an extra down to play with because if you go ahead and just throw it and you don't get it, come back and try and pick it up on 3rd down.
Now a pass that's taken in by Hill. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
2nd and short, that's a rundown, so it's definitely a good time to go play action if you're feeling it. And they do so and pick up a first down.
So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 43. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4, 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and wing in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 39-yard line, here comes second down at 6.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa.
That's over the middle, caught by Chosen.
And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 19. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20.
Here's Tua.
That's into the hands of Chosen.
This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15.
Smart, baby. It's one play at a time, baby. Let's go, baby. Turn it up.
Tua wants to throw it on second down.
Over the middle and complete to Waddle.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And this will wind up being a 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, here comes Mostert.
And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down.
But forget knowing where the first down line was. This defense created their own line of scrimmage. They won every battle up front, and a lot of times that is one-on-one. And if you win your one-on-ones enough times, your defense is going to be pretty good. They had more people to the football and snuffed out the play.
Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th.
They'll try it now with Mostert.
So the decision to go for it turns out to be a good one. They get a couple of yards, and as a result, the drive keeps moving. It's now 1st and goal.
Remember, that was 4th and a full 2 yards. There's a big difference between that and 4th and maybe 6 inches or a yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because when it's that 6 inches, you just fall forward and you pick it up, right? You just go quarterback sneak. But having to move bodies, that means you actually have to execute because they know what you're going to do. How are you going to make the right play call and get everyone into the right spot and win at the line of scrimmage? That's what they did there.
Give him 3 on the gain there. 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown.
Tua Tagovailoa.
A 6-yard touchdown run.
And the Dolphins are back within a score.
Well, there's something that goes back to the early years of his career. Remember, he had 3 touchdowns in each of his first couple of seasons. None last year as they've tried to dial back his running, especially down close to the goal line.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead will shrink to 6. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Now Hardy on the return.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Back now on offense, the Buffalo Bills. Pretty important 3rd quarter drive for them. Momentum has sort of shifted the other direction after that last touchdown as they nurse this small lead.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 22. Throwing to start the drive. Allen. Left side caught by Diggs. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? Well, after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. To throw, it's Allen. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. Oh, one of the linebackers has got it. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. So turnovers, Charles, you figure will be key in the second half, and that's a big giveaway there.
Yeah, and as you and I both know, coaches are always preaching ball security, and none more often than right here in the second half of a tight football game. Now you've got to believe what the coaches are saying and take care of that football.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. This offense, thankful, I'm sure, to have the football back, but also, Charles, after a long drive of their own, they've got to be a little weary.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and what you have to do to combat it, try and get fresh legs in where you can, especially to skill positions. And then for the offensive line, instead of attacking, maybe slow the tempo down a little bit, let them catch their breath.
Following the fumble recovery, here's Tua. That's complete to Mostert out of the backfield. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long.
I really like the angles that the tacklers came from on that play. They secured inside, took away the cutback. The sideline's there, so you can only go so far outside, and they were able to close in and tackle him for a loss.
Yeah, they used your boy over there, the 12th man. Sammy Sideline, right?
Sammy Sideline. You know something? He tackles pretty well, too.
He's tougher than an airport steak. Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Really good coverage all over the field, and it took away his intended read and almost dared him to try for his guy out of the backfield. No surprise on that one. It doesn't connect.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Tua going to throw. And that will be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. And the punter Bailey on now as he sends this one away. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. They throw right away, and that's complete out on the right side. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. A gain of 8 there on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple. Now a give, running left is Harris. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 61 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Here's Allen to throw it. That pass is caught by Hardy. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Sometimes I get almost mesmerized watching these runners who have great vision. You know, those eyes that carry their feet to open spaces, make people miss. I just love watching those guys go to work. On
the give, this is Harris. And very little there. He might have
have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Now we're at the 41, 2nd and 9.
Now here's another carry for Harris. Not much there, maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Now Allen. And this is going to be incomplete.
That is certainly one way to frustrate a quarterback. Run those extra defenders on the field. Dime package, lots of speed, no space to fit in the football.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this one is no good. He missed it. And this will stay a one-score game as the lead will hold at 6.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
Dolphins offense returning to the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or a man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. They hand it off to Mostert.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
The focus after that run isn't how many yards they gained. It's that they gained a 1st down, and they've been running it well all game long.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
We couldn't ask for much more to this point in the 2nd half. A gorgeous day, one-score game, 1st and 10 here.
Tua sets up to pass it, and his throw here is incomplete.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. Well, free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. A 4th and very long coming up. You're out of field goal range. I don't know that you can go for this.
Well, I know that you want to, right? You know that they want to say, hey, let's go for this. We've got the perfect play drawn up. Let's do it. But I wouldn't go for it either. I agree with you totally. You're only down 1 score. Punt it. Let your defense pick you up.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Yeah, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. The Bills offense now, they get set to head back onto the field.
Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. They'll start on the ground with Harris. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Ball at the 26, 2nd and 7. Allen now looks to throw. The throw led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
And this offense on 3rd down today, they've been really good, converting 7 of their 10 tries. This is 3rd and 7. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
Good clean play. No flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get them off the field with a 3 and out.
Here's Sam Martin now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon.
And this returnable for Hill.
It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return, and it'll be Dolphin football.
Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake the block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
Looking to pass. Tua. Got a man. It's Waddle complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Play action. Now it's Tua. And that is incomplete.
Some coaches like to take the shorter, more reliable yardage, and some, they like to go for the big shot. No fear in risking a deep ball there, but it wasn't enough to get them to completion.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
Tua setting up shop to throw again.
And his throw is incomplete.
Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion.
Now Tua. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami. Tyreek Hill with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Dolphins are an extra point away from going back on top here in the 4th. Well, what do coaches tell us all the time, CD? We've got to get our playmakers more involved, and certainly running with the football is one way, and it paid off right there.
And you're talking about paying off to great effect. How about the big explosive play that was a result of that play call? Big-time execution on that one.
Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Well, here's the call.
Sanders on for the extra point. And they have taken the lead here in this fourth quarter. A drive that time of 6 plays.
And it ends with a touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field.
Now the bad news for them, they've seen that cushion they once had totally evaporate, and they're working from behind. The good news, they now have the opportunity to regain the lead right back.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. Throwing to start the drive. Allen. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Again, it's Harris on 2nd down.
And he powers his way up past the 30.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Uncorks one for Davis. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
That was for the lead right there. They know they're in a position where fortune favors the brave. So they took their shot, but couldn't connect.
Here's Sam Martin now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Watch out for Hill on the return. Call that a 44-yard punt, 5 on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The Dolphins ready to take over on offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
On the handoff, this is Mostert. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35. And even 100 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Matt Milano, an all-pro last year, in on the tackle.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Now, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early. The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. Running the counter with Mostert. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Third down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Flush to his right. And he'll only get this to about the 35. Well short of the line to gain. He opted to go with his scramble. Gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
Like any team playing, they're looking for touchdowns to try and help their cause. But in this case, he does get them a little closer at least if they think a field goal turns out to be the better call here.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to get the lead up to 4. Sanders' kick is good, and that'll move their lead up to 4 now. So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. Throwing to start the drive. Allen, little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on 1st down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. The ball on the 32, it's 2nd and 2. They'll try the right side with Harris. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 77 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming, pick them up, and someone jumped.
From the gun, it's Allen. On the slant, he's got Davis. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Ball on the 39. Here's the 2nd and 8. Now Allen. Right back to Davis. It's complete. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the complete. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Emmanuel Ogbah that time, able to drop him for a loss.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Here's Allen. Going deep for Diggs. And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in.
Oh, man, late in a tight ball game, every play so critical, you feel like you've got to find a way to come up with that football. That was put in a great spot, but it just didn't want to stick in his hands. That's a big letdown.
Now Allen. He's got the connection over the middle to Diggs. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. It'll be a pickup of 14, but they're still a little bit short as it brings up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And he is going to have the Bills first down, and they come up with a big one there to keep the drive moving and then some. 27 yards, a big play there on 4th. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You still have to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
A new lease on life after the 4th down conversion. Here's 1st and 10. On play action, Allen. And he's got his tight end Knox for a Bills touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Bills put together a 4th quarter drive to take the lead. This has definitely been a back-and-forth affair, and now they have the lead here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and they gave up the field goal on that last drive, as we remember, but it felt like their offense told them, don't worry about it, we got your backs. We'll come back with a touchdown of our own, and they did.
Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all, and it culminates in a Bills touchdown. After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. Miami's offense set and ready to go. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the 4th quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. He'll look to Mostert to start things out. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Nice chunk of yards on 1st down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on 2nd. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Here's Tua. Trying to lay one up deep. Oh, and a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch. It's a big play there for Miami. 44 yards.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. On 1st down, Tagovailoa. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. Three points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the fourth. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. They come up on a 1st and goal with this game still hanging in the balance. Tua. Got a man and he hits him in stride. And he is going to lose yardage here.
Oh, I know it goes against the grain here. It totally goes against it, but you've got to drop the ball in that situation. He makes a catch, but he loses yards and doesn't get out of bounds.
Here now, 2nd and goal. Now Tua, a run with Mostert up the middle. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
This crowd doing all they can. Here's 3rd and goal. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. A nightmare on 3rd and goal. He's sacked, and multiple players broke through the line to get him.
Partner, you absolutely cannot take a sack in that situation. Now, it's also 4th down.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to tie things up in the final minute. Sanders' kick is good. And that will tie this game here in the final minute of play. So in the final minute, they turn it over to their kicker to get him back to even, and he does not disappoint.
Brandon, do you think the pressure ever gets to this guy? Because I sure don't. That was pretty smooth right there. But I tell you, he better not rest on his laurels because there's a good chance they may need him again if this game goes to overtime.
So now, after the clutch field goal, he's back out there to boot it away in what's now a tie ball game. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The football back to the Bills and Stephon Diggs. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
This is 1st and 10. Now Allen. They'll start the drive with Harris. And he's got a 1st down to the 40-yard line, but the clock runs. Now the Bills will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. Well, this offense still has the one timeout here, remember. 1st and 10. To throw is Allen. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much. Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Here's Allen. A short throw pulled in by Kincaid.
And he'll be out of bounds up near the 45 at the 44.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential, but when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Boy, here's a big one. You can just feel it. This is 3rd down now. Allen.
He's going to let this one go deep. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. 4th down now, and defensively, Charles, you know, they're just asking this crew for one more stop.
And you know that they're feeling the momentum right now, but they have to be very careful not to get over-exuberant, overexcited, and blow an assignment and give up the big 1st down.
So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. Don't change that dial. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So the Bills going to be the first to get it as we are back underway here in overtime. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here.
And everyone knows the OT rules, Charles, but pretty simple formula. They go down and get a field goal, we continue play, but if they can find the end zone on this possession, ball game over.
And as meticulously as all teams plan for a game, I don't doubt for a second on that offense coordinator's play sheet, he's got some overtime plays that he wants to run. I know it sounds crazy, but they plan for everything. 1st and 10 all the way throughout the game, 2nd and 7, whatever. Right now, he's looking at that play sheet saying, if we get to overtime, what can we break out that they haven't seen?
That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down.
A strong play from last year's 2nd-round pick who didn't get a lot of carries as a rookie with the Bills, only 89. But he made the most of them, though. A 5.7-yard average, good enough to lead all running backs had he qualified. This is a young man who's proved he's worthy of a more featured role in the Buffalo offense.
They run again on 1st down. Cook.
And they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. 16 more on that one and another 1st down.
They go with the ground game, pick up the 1st, now in plus territory.
And that changes the whole mentality of a play caller, doesn't it? Once they cross the 50, they feel like they're in the strike zone, all right? You don't have to be in the red zone to take those big shots downfield or go after the end zone. Right now, that might be available to them.
And now this first drive in OT continues. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that will bring up 2nd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Let's go.
From the 33, here's 2nd and 6.
Harris running straight ahead.
And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line.
It's a pickup of 17 on that one, and a Bills 1st down.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. Throwing now is Allen. And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down.
You know what I like about that play? He didn't try to do too much on 1st down. He took what the defense gave him, put together a solid gain to bring up 2nd and manageable. Now they have a couple of plays to pick up just a few yards and a new set of downs.
Facing a 2nd and 3, ball on the 10. They hand this off to Harris.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Allen going to throw. And he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to at least get him a lead here in overtime.
The kick by Bass is good.
And the Bills have taken the lead. So they do get the short field goal here to get them the all-important overtime lead. But, Charles, you wonder if they'll wind up ruining the fact that they were able to get down into the red zone, yet not able to find the touchdown that would have won them the game.
Brandon, you're absolutely right. In overtime, when you get the ball first, the hope is your opponents never see the football. But now they're going to get a drive to try and win it, or at least keep the game alive with a field goal. And I'm getting a dictionary out to look up ruin.
So after knocking through the field goal, here's Bass to kick it away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
And out come the Dolphins now.
Well, it's pretty simple now. They need a field goal out of this drive to extend overtime or obviously, Charles, a touchdown to win it.
Yeah, and I'm taking the defense's perspective on this one, partner, because now they know with a 3-point lead, they can afford to give that up because you just keep playing, right? Overtime gets extended. But if you give up the touchdown, it's game over. So on offense, every play you make, you've got to try and get just a little bit more out of each one in order to try and get to the end zone because they're going to play everyone back, keep everything in front.
Good work after the catch, gets him 15 and a 1st down. That last pass puts him over 300 yards now in the game. More importantly, though, big 1st down here in OT.
And the team around him has a lot of confidence now after picking up that 1st down. Everyone seems a little more energized. But did I hear you before the game call in and say, this is my quarterback for your fantasy league? Because he just gave you a good stat, didn't he?
He did, and I appreciate it. So the completion good for 7 there, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
From the gun, a run with Mostert.
And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Look, I realize on any play call, when it's properly executed, it can go for a touchdown. But the runs that really make it work are the ones where you just get what you need, right? And he barely got the 1st down, but he got it.
On 1st down, they go with Mostert again.
There he goes, left side. And he gets it down to the 32. That good for 19 on a 1st down.
Partner, this is a pretty good drive they're putting together. And I know if I'm on the other sideline, that offense, kind of helpless, isn't it? Because they may not touch the football at all because if they go down and score a touchdown, this thing's over.
Absolutely. That would write an ending to this script. We'll see what happens. So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 32-yard line.
On play action, here's Tua.
His throw incomplete.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Tua going to throw. Throw right side, going to be caught here by Waddle. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. He's going to drop this underneath to Mostert. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. He's padding his already great numbers here in overtime. More importantly, though, moving his guys downfield.
And I think that's exactly what's going through his head right now. Moving them downfield, putting them in a position to win the game. The stats, that's for the fantasy guys. I know they're enjoying that show.
Tua now on 1st down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. They'll run right side with Mostert. This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15. They've had some success here in overtime on this opening drive running the football right back to that well.
And why not? When you have that kind of success, make them stop you, and until they do, keep going back to that well you just spoke about. I think there's more water there available to them.
Once again, it's Mostert. And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settling, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys, poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. Now the Bills will take another timeout. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. So 4th down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit. This to keep the game alive. The kick by Sanders is good, and we are tied once again here in the overtime session. Both teams swapping field goals on their respective first drives of overtime, so now, you know the drill, it's on to old school sudden death.
Yeah, it sounds exciting, doesn't it? Can I be a little bit of Dennis Downer here, though? That drive, able to go that far, yet they had to kick the field goal to keep playing. You would have thought maybe could they punch it in and go ahead and end it?
We get more free football.
Oh yeah, good point.
Come on.
I'm back upbeat again. Forget the downer stuff.
Will 3 points be enough to do it? We'll soon know as we continue here in overtime. Now Hardy on the return. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And the Bills getting set to go. I cannot imagine how these players and coaches feel, Charles, because my palms sweating up here in the booth now as we go to the 3rd drive of overtime. And as we know from here on out, any points win this football game.
I'll throw you a towel as well, partner. I've got one for myself, but let's face it, our nerves, our pressure, nothing compared to what's going on that field. Both of the field goal kickers active here early. Can one of them become the hero and end this thing?
Will go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
And partner, I've not been a huge fan of a certain cliche, but it does actually apply here. who actually wants it more now? I mean, both of them have gotten field goals here in overtime.
Yeah, they've been out there a long time trading field goals. Now we'll see who wants it more.
Yeah, mental conditioning as well as physical conditioning is going to determine who wins this one.
On second down, this is Harris. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. And that's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, and defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to third down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on third down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd and 9. And now they'll throw with Allen. Caught right side, Davis. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it brings up 3rd and 5 now. A little dinking and dunking that they're doing. At some point, is it appropriate to maybe take a shot?
It is if you feel good about it. But otherwise, you do what a coach told me a long time ago. Take what they give you, but make them tackle. In other words, get it to one of your guys in space. If he makes someone miss, that could turn into the big play you're looking for.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
Here's Sam Martin now, on for a very important punt here in overtime. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Dolphins' drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. And the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10 at their own 15. They'll start on the ground with Mostert. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A big part of a middle linebacker's job is being able to take on blocks and then go make plays. But the best ones, they have those big guys in front of them playing defensive line. They'll hold blockers off of them and allow them to flow sideline to sideline and make the big hits.
2nd down, here's Mostert again.
And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
An extra defensive back here for the Bills on 3rd down. Now Tua. And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They run out of the shotgun with Mostert.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
He's had some big runs in this game. Not there, though.
But I don't think they're going to be deterred by that play right there. He's had some nice runs in the game. And how many times have we seen a good running back get stopped, yet turn it into something big on a later carry? I'd stay with him.
Here's Tua. He's got it complete to Waddle. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line.
And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
They'll try and run here with Mostert. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down. At least it appears that way. And he got it by maybe the length of a football.
So 2 first downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10.
They'll stay on the ground with Mostert. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there, 2nd down.
Well, in every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
From the 46-yard line, a 2nd down and 6. Tua.
And that's off the mark, incomplete.
You still hold your breath a little when Tua gets out of the pocket, but there he made the wise call. If there's nothing downfield, just throw it away.
They'll be in search of 6 yards here on 3rd down. This is now the 9th play of the drive.
Tua to throw.
And that is incomplete.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. They'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
We gotta be big.
Allen. That's taken in by Knox.
And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. 1 overtime. How about 2? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that 2nd overtime in just a moment.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's 2nd down and a yard.
From the gun, it's Allen. Left side caught by Diggs.
And Diggs will have a Bills first down as he'll be brought down at the 38-yard line. Allen to Diggs there for a Buffalo first.
Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. Well, they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
So they'll get nothing out of that play, and it's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. On the give, this is Harris. They'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 15 yards that time, and a Buffalo first.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 47. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Here's Allen. Blitz coming, and down he goes. That time, Bradley Chubb shooting in there for the sack.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
So after the sack, Allen and the Bills with work to do on 3rd and long. From midfield, here's Allen. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, that play was certainly a little bit different because on the previous play, he was sacked. This time, protection a lot better. Had time to survey the field and still couldn't find an open receiver.
Here's Sam Martin now. And in double overtime, this needs to be a good one. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback.
Miami set to take over.
And they had a long drive going last time, but it stalled out. But still, maybe something positive to carry forward from that last drive.
Well, a few different things that you carry forward. Number one, as you noted, they were moving it pretty well, so that gives them a lot of confidence. The second part is, keeps your defense off the field, gives them a chance to rest up a little bit. And last but not least, you've taken a good look at what you've done on offense, noted where the weaknesses are, and you know when you want to come back to them.
Like when you're organized with your points. Well
Point
done.
A, B, and C.
Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
Just straight money right there. The biggest drive of the game, a chance to win it in overtime. If they've been saving that play, they sure pulled it out at the right time. A huge turn of events there.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10.
Up the middle they go with Mostert.
And he picks up about 6 as he gets this down to the 41.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
From the 41, here's a 2nd and 4.
They fake the handoff. Now Tua. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Looking to pass. Tua. He's going to get this one out to his fullback. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. They call it a loss of a yard there. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on 3rd down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here.
The last series form a little disappointing, forced a punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 16. Off play action. Allen. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hardy. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Now Allen off the bootleg. Little pitch and catch to the tight end, Knox.
And Knox is going to have the Bills 1st down as he'll get this up close to the 30-yard line.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Now a 1st down carry for Harris.
And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Throwing is Allen on 3rd. Taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the 1st, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
This is where the NFL is headed year by year, partner. A league where just about everyone has someone under center who can get you with their legs as well as their arm. And we've certainly had a nice display of that from both QBs in this game. And that continued with that 1st down run.
A pair of 1st downs gives him a 1st and 10 up at the 44. Allen now looks to throw. And bringing it in, it's Davis. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectations.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They brought it from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary.
From the 29, here's 2nd down and 3.
They run again with Harris. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, but sometimes the other guys make a play against you. What's that expression they like to use in the NFL? Those guys get paid too, you know.
Yeah, in college they say, hey, they're on scholarship too. In the NFL, they're getting paid too. With the day he's had, you can have one going the wrong direction. And he's brought down short by a yard. It's a 3rd down gain of 4.
You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set.
So all eyes now on Tyler Bass.
This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good. And they have won it here in double overtime.
Charles, one Normally when you see a group score this many points, it's a complete blowout. But instead, they needed every single one of those in this close, high-scoring affair.
And Brandon, I'm still on the edge of my seat after that one because when you have that much scoring and it still comes down to a one-possession game at the end, that's not something we see very often. In this case, these offenses, they brought it. The defenses, they're going to need some work going forward.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. With that, we say so long from Buffalo.